YouTubers. I am going to talk about doing my own work because I think there's a lot of people that don't believe I do my own work. The Econoline, the super van, Aki van that I own, the green one, for you people that don't know that, the head has to be redone, and it's been taking me about, I don't know, 6-7 months to find all the parts. That particular head is a police package because it's a 66 high performance 6-cylinder. Doing the research for that, I come to find out that I have to put oversized valves in because it doesn't use a lot of components as of today's cars. It doesn't use bronze or push-in stainless steel or cast iron guides. There's no hardened seats on that van, but we run regular gas out of it with no problems. It doesn't beat it up at all. For the people that don't believe that, you can run straight gas on any engine as long as your valves are cut to seat. So anyways, I'm going to show you that I do my own work with the tools that I own. This is a valve job. So these right here are my intake valves. These are oversized. 15 thousandths on the shafts, and then I believe it's 7 thousandths on the face. Ford uses an 11/32 valve, so I don't want to get too technical with the math, but it's like 35384 or some shit like that, some weird size. But anyways, basically 11/32, add 15 thousandths. There you go. The problem was this head was so badly beat up because of lack of oil circulation, and then I put a set of lifters in it, and then it got too much oil. By the umbrella style seals, it was squirting in too much oil. It got hot because you know these engines are in the doghouse, a lot of heat builds up. Numerous things happened. And what happened was, especially right in here, these the last, I think it was 3, 4, and 6 were really bad. Too much heat, and what happens is it wobbles it out. So that's why you have to do oversized valves. But you can see how thick these shafts are. This is the exhaust, and you can see right here. This is where the line is. That's increased on the thickness. Okay, the problem is getting the right reamer for this is not that easy. You want to look at me. So anyways, getting the right reamer is not that easy. It took me a long time to find the right size reamer. Come to find out, the valves, I think it was $180 with lifters, valves, and new seals. And I'm using the Viton positive seals for a big block Chevy and stuff like that. I do all of my valves, overhead valves, with positive seals because the umbrellas will actually break down. The positive seals, if you don't know racing, you have to snap them on, and they handle the stress and the heat better than a lot of other components. Don't forget, these engines, today's gas is really shitty. The gas doesn't last only a couple weeks anyways, because we know it's got Obamathol in it. But that's just the way it is. So we have to fight that, okay? Believe it or not, a brand new reamer for these engines, for this particular engine, the police pack, is like $200. So a lot of people say, oh, that's why I have to have a head job done at a shop, and it costs some ridiculous amount. I've heard stories, but believe it or not, it's really simple. You can do it yourself. And for you people that don't know that I do this all myself. And why I'm in there, I port it, polish it, I recut all the seats, all the guides. If I have to put new guides in, I do those too. Yeah, press them in. But here it is. I found this on auction. This is the reamer. It's a spiral flute tapered. Believe it or not, it's tapered for 11/32, about a ½ inch, and then it tapers up to 15 thousandths oversized, and the guy had this listed as a countertop reamer, and I couldn't figure out why, but what it was this is an oversized guide reamer, and somebody had machined this piece that goes into a router, and they pushed it on this, so now I use it with a Speedo and a 1/2-inch socket, and I run it right through the guides, and it takes me a couple of seconds. So anyways, got that out of the way. Come on over here, and I'm going to show you how I get to reseat. Alright, so this is my Black & Decker vibrocentric valve grinding system. Not a kit, this is a system, because it's like 5 or 6 components. You have all your stones, and you can buy more. I have all of my guides, and here's some positive seats for race engines, all of my manuals, and this is the seat stone that I'm using for that particular head. And rule of thumb is people can correct me, because I just do it as I go, and not all the information, like this particular engine, is not in that guide. And I looked around to find a guide, and I cannot find one for a police package. So I have to, basically rule of thumb is, take the stone, match it to the size of the valve. Where these valves are oversized, 15 thousandths, this is the size I came up. I think it's 1'7", 7/8". And some of these older stones ain't marked. So inside the aluminum housing, there's a stamping number, so that's what you got to look for. This is what I use to dress the stone. This is a Black & Decker valve stone dressing stand. And what you do is you find your designated stone, and you put this stone, this shroud is just kind of a blow shroud. If the stone blows apart, you'll get hit in the face, because these do hurt. Basically, you load your stone on your centric die, okay? Then you put it on the shaft, and what it is you have to figure out, since this is a Ford, the seats are 45 degrees. You seat your seat at 45 degrees with a pitch, and on here there's a little tiny diamond tip, and what you do is you put your drill, basically it's a drill, your grinder on the mandrel, and you turn it on, and there's only one speed, 12,000 RPMs, and you just go up and down until you get this seat on the stone clean and true. And what that does is that trues up that valve material, which is the head, perfectly fine. It's really nice. It does a real good job. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go to these, let me show you the valve seals for this. Believe it or not, these right here, I don't know if you can see them really well. I'm going to use, this one's a little dirty. These are new. I had these on my Hemi, these 6 for a break-in, but they're brand new. They're just a little oil dirty. On these, I'll use a shiny one. On these, you have a nitrite neoprene seal, and it's one piece. And it's basically it's heat pressed around the collar of a hardened piece of steel. And in here you have 1, 2, 3 positive seats, and they only seat one way. You push down and it grips like a suction cup. And on here you have this little spring. It's actually one piece, and it's put together, and they push over it. And that's your positive seal, where an umbrella kind of just rides up and down. This pushes down against the seat of the top of the valve guide. Now, to get this on here, you got to use a special cutter. I have the cutter. I'm not gonna bother with that. I won't show you what the cutter is. I'll do another video and I'll show you exactly how to do it, because I've done a few of them and I just never did any. And there's not. I checked YouTube. There's not a lot of videos on there right now. And the engine shops don't want you to know this. This is really simple. Anybody, I believe, can do this, as long as you buy the machinery. And where I actually bought the whole system. You can see over there in the corner, That right there is the valve grinding service station. If you don't see it, my wife's filming, by the way. That's the Black & Decker valve service station. I bought that and the whole system for like $400 from a guy that used to run a garage. So they're out there, and if you check around, I got a really good deal. Believe it or not, I've looked around. The parts are still available, okay? All your guides, those are all available. Brand new, still in the packages. Your stone, believe it or not, the stones vary in price, anywhere from $1 up to $20 a piece, depending on the size. I think this thing could go up 6 inches. But let's go back to, excuse my mug here, okay? Let's go back to this. So anyways, after you get the reamer, I had to think about this backwards, because since the valves are oversized, I wasn't too sure if I could use the 11/32 guide, because these little wings, you can see these little wings, this is an expander, and it's a one side, it's basically a right hand thread with a left handed thread stop, and they mushroom down it, so this thing can never back off. What you do is you put this in the guide. And by the way, this is your handle, and there's I actually have another one too with a little tiny one, but this is fluted, and the ball locks in here, okay, and this is your handle, and this is what you do. You push it into the guide, okay, all the way down, and then in clockwise tightens it up. And you just want to seat that, and what that does is it's tapered. Now, I've already reamed this out 15 thousandths. So, where the 11/32 reamer from the factory is tapered, these guides come in different lengths. So I use the short one to take the difference up to 15 thousandths. And once this is in, basically it's the same idea as the dressing stone. You put this in here, you tighten it down, and you take this mandrel with the stone already attached, and you put it into your seat. And you can see that I've already cut this one. It's nice and tight for the oversized valve. And believe it or not, this is, I think it's about 10 thousandths bigger than the valve face. And that's what you want. And that is perfect, actually, because you can see this valve is in here. See how nice this is? This valve is extremely tight. Now, I've lapped, see, we're going to go to the first one here. You can see the lapping compound marks, and that's a perfect seat. Here, and on the intake, everything, you can see the shiny, where it's shiny on the outside, and non-shiny in the middle, and that's perfect seat every time. And what I do, actually I got this, this grease compound, I believe this one's medium. I got this one at Napa, and this is the Permatex brand, but Napa sticks their freaking name on everything, you know. God bless Napa. Fucking assholes. So anyways, use the valve compound grinding juice, and this little suction cup handle. You can use wood ones. Liesel makes a really nice one. This one, what is this one? I think this, oh, this is a KD manufacturer. I like the Liesel one better. It's a wood handle. But anyways, after you recut these, basically you pull that guide out, and then it's ready for lapping. And what you do is you take a valve, and I usually just stick this sucker right on there, just like that, and basically put that in there. Make sure the guide and the shaft of the valve is fairly clean of grinding dust, because I'll tell you what, that is so nasty. When you get inside a nice fresh cut guide, it will tear it up, because you can feel it. By the way, I use brake cleaner. I got this one at Advanced Auto Parts. 2-for-1 deal, pretty good. Clean the whole entire head with this stuff. This stuff really knocks off the carbon. Now you can see how nice that is. Now, for your information, when you redo these, when you cut these, There's no hardened seats on these. Okay, it's these cast iron head. With this type of machine, there's a special stone to use for cast iron heads. I use a ruby stone because if there is a seat in there, the ruby stone will cut right through it. You can ruin a head in a hurry if you're not knowing what you're doing, and be careful with it. But it's pretty much simple. Here is the seat right here. This has been 45. The valve is 45. These are brand new. I almost had a problem. I had to recut the seats because I found out that by cutting the seats, you cut it in farther into the head. And what that does is that draws the valve in. Now you're going to wonder, oh, what about the take-up difference on the valve spring? The valve spring, plenty of slack in these. Because you know when you compress these, you're compressing these things almost over an inch. These valve springs are really hard. I think they're 195s or something like that on the pressure. But they're a little over 2 inches long. Plenty of take up on that. And where this particular head, when you reseat it, it's 0 lash, 3/4 turn, set on 0. And that's pretty simple. It's basically 0 lash with no slop, 3/4 all the way around with a ratchet, and you're done. And then you can adjust it. Because these, you don't want to overkill it, because these are push-in studs on the guides and the rocker shafts. So you don't want to try to over tighten the valve against the seat and stuff like that. So we're going to get to the next video for you people that don't realize they do all this. Have a good day and take it easy.